Hi, and welcome to the video. If you've ever resized something in Photoshop and it became blurry, or applied a filter and wished you could undo that filter and edit it, then you need to understand smart objects. Smart objects are one of the most important non-destructive tools in Photoshop. In this video, I'll explain what smart objects are, how they work, and the different ways you can use them in your projects. If you're a beginner or just starting out in Photoshop, this is game-changing. Let's get started. So by default, most layers in Photoshop are pixel-based. That means when you resize them, you're permanently changing the pixels. If you make the image smaller, then the pixels get smaller. If you make the image bigger, the pixels get bigger and your image becomes blurry. I'll show you an example. I have some images open. We'll just click Shift and drag this image over to our main image. As you can see here, the image is just a normal layer. If I resize this and make it very, very small, hit enter. And then if I size this back up, by sizing it down, it made all the pixels small. And then when we tried to make it big, it took all the small pixels and it made them big, but the problem is they were small, and now when you resize it, they get big and blurry. We'll undo this real quick. Back to our regular image. Now to make this a smart object, all you do is come over here into the layers palette and you right click or control click and go down to convert smart object. One quick tip, and this isn't something you have to do, but if you name the layer before you make it a smart object, it can make things a little easier for you later. Now, right click or control click down to convert to smart object. And you can tell it's a smart object because it has the little smart object icon in the lower right hand corner. Basically, when you create a smart object, it protects the original image data from being changed. Now, if we go back to this layer and hit Command T to transform it, make it small like we did before, hit enter. And then Command T, transform it back big, you can see nothing has changed because it is protected by the smart object. Think of it like putting your image inside of a protective container so nothing can happen to the original. This feature alone makes smart objects worth using. Here's another way smart objects are really great. I'm going to duplicate the smart object and then I'm going to rasterize it back to a regular layer. So now we have one smart object and one regular layer. And we'll go ahead and size them both to the same size. This way we can see what's going on. So we have the regular layer at the top and the smart object at the bottom. If we apply a filter to these layers, go to filter, we'll just add a blur to it. Hit OK. And then we'll add a filter to the smart object, the same one. Hit OK. The regular layer, the filter is applied directly to it. There's nothing we can do about this. This is done, permanent. The smart object has the filter applied as a smart filter. We can turn this off to see our smart object underneath it. And we can also double click the smart filter and make changes to it at any time. These are non-destructive, non-permanent changes. You can also add multiple filters. So go back up to filter. We'll just add noise. Hit OK. And then you can see it also adds it to the smart filters. And then if you want to turn one off, turn another one off, or turn them all off, you can click the eyeballs next to each section. And then if you don't want one, you can just delete it. If you just grab one of them, grab the noise one, drag it to the trash can. Smart filters also come with a layer mask, just like adjustment layers do. So if you wanted to erase part of this, you just draw on the layer mask, and now there's only a blur at the top. Okay, we're done with smart filters. Press V to get back to your move tool, and then we'll just drag this to the garbage can, and we'll get rid of our copy here. Now, as I said before, smart objects are basically a container that's protecting your original layer or your original image. A good way to think about it is that it's a Photoshop file inside of a layer. So to access your smart object contents, all you do is double click on the smart object and it will open a new document. Up here you can see in our normal one I had the smart object named scene, and then when I double clicked on it, it opened the scene.psp. And when you look at this, it looks just like any other Photoshop document you would have. You have one layer and all the controls and anything you want to do, you can do in here. So for example, I have this Hawaii image open. If you click and hold, drag to the scene image, let go. Now we have the Hawaii image here. If you just hit save to save your document and then go back to your original image, you can see now that your smart object is automatically updated. It used to be Greece, now it's Hawaii. And it's that simple. And you can make any changes you want to this. So if you wanted to turn this back off and add a text layer and name this Greece, and we can change the color. And we just move that to there and save, and there it is, updated. This can be extremely useful when creating mock-ups, placing things inside of scenes, and many other things. Another use for smart objects is repeating elements. So if you wanted a lot of these, you could just duplicate them. And then that way, when you double click on one to open it up, we'll go back to Hawaii, just hit save. When you go back to your original document, all four of them have been updated. All your smart objects are the same when you make a copy like that. So any update you make can be made throughout an entire document. So if this was used 3 times, 5 times, 100 times, you make the change one time and all of the images are updated. All your smart objects are updated. If you want a smart object to be independent but still be a copy, there is a way to make a new smart object via copy instead of just duplicating it. To do that, we'll just throw this one away. If you right click or control click and then choose new smart object via copy, it'll make a copy of that one and it's right on top of here. So then you can just drag it over. And this one is not like the others. You can double click this one, change it back to Greece, save it, and then go back to your original image. And you can see that this one changed while the other 3 were left untouched. So you could see how this could be very useful if you had a lot of duplicate images. Now let's use one of these smart objects to make a mock-up. We'll just drag this and put it on the television. Just lower the opacity a little bit so we can see. We'll Command T to transform it. Get it roughly the width of the television. And then you can hold the Command key on these corners and you can drag them independently. So we're just going to try and match the angle of the TV. Take the opacity back to 100 and then turn that off. And then we'll make a quick mask of this screen that we can apply to our smart object. To do that, we'll take the magic wand, click inside the TV, hold the shift key to add to the selection. Once you have your selection, then you can turn the smart object back on, select it, then hit the mask button, and it will create the mask for you. Then we'd go back to our move tool, press V on the keyboard. Now, to make this look a little more into the scene, if you turn this off, you can see there's light on the side of the TV. It's coming from the light from the window. So if you turn the layer back on and then choose the blend mode screen, it will allow that light to come through. And it'll make it fit more into the scene. It's subtle, but it makes a difference. And now that we have this, just like before, you can double click on this. We turn Hawaii off, and now we have Greece. So we just save it. And now Greece is on the television. You could go right back into the smart object, turn the text layer off, save it, go back to your layer, and it's gone. It gives you so much control without having to recreate the mask and the shape every time you want to make any sort of change to a mock-up. You just do this, all this part once. You make the mask, you create the angles, and then you can make as many changes to this as you'd like. It saves a lot of time in the long run, especially if you're trying to get something approved, or if you can't make up your mind which one of these things you like. If you want Greece up there, or Hawaii, or New York, sometimes you just can't decide. Some things to remember about smart objects. Smart objects protect your original work. They are non-destructive. You can resize. No pixels will be harmed. By using smart objects, you can apply filters to them, and it turns regular filters into smart filters. So they're editable, and you can turn them on, turn them off, whatever you'd like. You can add masks to them. It makes them a lot more powerful than just applying a filter to a normal layer. And as you just saw, smart objects are great for mock-ups. If you're getting into Photoshop and you're serious about learning, converting important layers to smart objects is a must-know. It will change everything about how you use Photoshop. I hope that helped, and I'll see you next time.